So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you all for joining the Dynmark Text Chat webinar. Appreciate that you're taking some time out of your day to find out a little bit more about SMS and how it can be used for customer services, assisted sales, and two-way marketing communications. A couple of quick introductions before we start and a little bit of housekeeping. My name is David Bruce. Amongst other things, I'm the sales director and also responsible for working with the product team to bring new services of real value to the market and to our customers. I'm also joined by Jennifer Blankley, who is one of our senior account directors, and we'll be doing the live text chat demo a little later. Before we start, the webinar will last no more than 30 minutes, in which time we'll give you an introduction to text chat, talk briefly about the concept of conversational commerce, plus go over a couple of use cases to demonstrate how text chat is being used by our clients. We will have a Q&A session at the end. Please feel free to send in questions throughout the webinar. Unfortunately, we are having a couple of problems with the Q&A function of Zoom webinars. So if you do have any questions throughout, if you can email them directly to me, and we'll do our best to answer as many as possible at the end. My email address is david.bruce, B-R-U-C-E, @dynmark.com. So we'll keep an eye out for those as they come in, and hopefully we'll get a chance at the end to go through some of those. Without further ado, we'll move on. A bit of background. One second, let's just get on to the next slide. There we go. A bit of background information before we go into the product detail. People have been talking about conversational commerce for a couple of years. It was a phrase coined by Uber's head of development and customer experience, a guy called Chris Messina, and it refers to the trend of customers interacting with businesses via SMS and chat apps rather than traditional methods such as telephone and email, mainly driven by long hold times on the phone, and I think we've all experienced that, plus the growing need for information immediately and the desire to do this while on the move. SMS and messaging apps offer a way of answering customer questions, solving their problems, while being flexible enough to do this in real time and on the move. What a lot of you hopefully have noticed, that a lot of websites are now adopting some kind of live chat, which is great if you're sat at your desk in front of your laptop, but not so great if you're on the bus, having a coffee, out shopping, or in the kitchen making a cup of tea. And this is where we're really seeing SMS adding massive value to customer engagement strategy for customer services and assisted sales. In comparison, what we have seen is businesses have been slow to adopt Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp as channels for customer services and communication, and haven't done so quickly, as quickly as experts have expected, mainly due to the integration required. And this is where we've seen text chat via SMS filling huge gaps and solving real problems very easily and, more importantly, very, very quickly. A couple of use cases. We're working with customers. So Dynmark as an SMS provider and text chat provider is working with customers in the retail, banking and finance, insurance sectors, call centres, travel and tourism, and even with the NHS. And what we're doing with these guys is offering a real-time, two-way customer services and assisted sales solution. And the main things, and I've mentioned it before, is the fact that it's very, very simple to use. You could say, yes, we'd like to start engaging with our customers via SMS tomorrow, and then you could have text chat set up within 24, 48 hours, including training, and then you have a real-time engagement path to your customers. A couple of use cases. In retail, we're finding mainly working with retailers on assisted sales. So to answer questions about delivery, customer orders, store opening, returns, which is a big one, certainly at this time of year, product descriptions, and also stock levels. Two key areas within the banking and finance that we're seeing a lot of interest and growth from is both debt recovery and insurance. Debt recovery due really because you're getting very, very high engagement rates from SMS in comparison to phone and email, due to sometimes the sensitive nature of the subject. But simple things in insurance, such as claims updates, renewal date requests, document requests, we're seeing huge take up of two-way SMS chat with the customer services team to enable that. Effectively, is what we're saying is that text chat is relevant in any industry where there is a focus placed on ensuring high customer services. So a little bit of, everyone likes a stat. So this page is really here to add some weight to the shift towards SMS and chat apps away from traditional methods of communication. Forrester did a survey recently where they surveyed a lot of people. It's US based, but I think having spent some time looking at average call wait times in the UK and seeing how many companies are adopting chat solutions, it's very, very relevant to our market. Forrester established through their surveys that 85% of people making a call, a service-related call, were put on hold. 48% of those people feel like they were unhelped, and staggeringly, 49% of them would actually rather have some form of text engagement as opposed to phone call. So that's a really huge opportunity for yourselves as companies to ensure that you're giving your customers the best levels of engagement and the best ways that people can engage with you. In the UK, making a phone call is now the 6th most common reason for owning a mobile device, obviously behind sending text, messaging apps, reading emails, web browsing, and using the alarm clock. So some really compelling statistics there as to why text chat and SMS chat is massively relevant in ensuring that you're giving a proper channel, another channel for engagement with your customers. So bit of a product overview. So hopefully I've given you a bit of a positioning as to why we're here in the market and why we're talking about this right now. So a little bit about the product. So text chat is a SaaS tool. Effectively, it's an online tool where each operator, administrator, or supervisor can access the platform with their own username and password. It's a real-time two-way SMS communication platform, and it allows that communication between the mobile handset, so me with my phone at the end of the line, and operators using a clear and simple UI. And we'll show you that in a minute when we get into the demonstration. It's started by an inbound message, and that can be either to a dedicated long number or a dedicated short code. The inbound messages are automatically assigned to the next available operator for action, or can be assigned manually by a supervisor. Text chat comes complete with its own database, which gives your operators on-screen visibility of customer profiles. And again, Jennifer will show you details of that within the demonstration. You can view on-screen chat history with an option to export customer chat. Great for auditing purposes, and you also have access to a 13-month messaging archive of that chat history. It also comes complete with an SMS campaign management tool that allows you as a brand to drive inbound chats via an outbound SMS campaign. Plus, you have the ability to build templates for canned responses, which will enable your operators to answer more quickly, or if they have more commonly asked questions, they can just speed up responses by sending a canned response. So there are three main users that use the text chat platform: administrator, supervisor, and operator. Administrator, as you would expect, has full access to the portal, plus they have the ability to send out outbound campaigns via the campaign management tool. They also have the ability to configure the text chat functionality, allocate users, operators, and they have visibility of all current chats, old chats that are going on, and the ability to change chats between operators. Plus, they have access to full analytics as well. The supervisor has a slightly slimmed down access with visibility of what the operators are doing, control of their allocation of chats, plus analytics. And as you'd imagine, the operator just has access to the chats they are working on at the moment. So a nice, simple hierarchy of users. I've mentioned a couple of times the shared database. Effectively, text chat is linked to its own database, which offers a number of features. Mainly, you can store a customer profile within the database, so you can import that customer database into your customer database into text chat database, which will allow a customer profile and any engagement activity to be displayed in the text chat UI. So when somebody does text in, your operator can see any past history of that person. It allows you to create an outbound SMS campaign with a text back call to action linked directly to text chat. This is where you would go in and create your message templates that we talked about earlier. It's really important that, that we hone in on this, purely because it allows your operator to have a clear knowledge of the customer that's texting in, and a clear view of history, which helps to maximize the customer experience. So I think I've kind of talked enough about the positioning and also some of the product features. I'm now going to hand over to Jennifer Blankley, where she will give you a demonstration of the platform. So if I just try and close that down and move over to the text chat screen. There we go.
Thank you.
Pass that over.
Thanks very much. So the demonstration I'm going to do for you this afternoon is going to be from the view of an administrator and an operator. So we won't focus on a supervisor today, just these two particular roles. So as mentioned, an administrator holds full access to the text chat. And I'm going to show you through what they can see on their screen. So as an administrator, if I click on this admin button over here, I can now see the different options that are available. So firstly, I just want to draw your attention to this number here. This is the inbound number that has been assigned to this particular text chat. So that would be where you would see the number that yours is set up to. I also have the ability here to manage my operators. It's really, really simple to use. I literally edit an operator and I can add in their details, put in names and email addresses and the role that they hold, and then that operator is able to add passwords as well. So if you have staff changing over, for example, it's really simple to amend that at any point. If I come into configure here, this is where I can configure the settings. So firstly, I'm able to decide whether or not I want my operators to have the functionality to edit customer data in the profile. So I may decide that I would rather people weren't able to do that, but in most cases it would make sense to be able to edit profiles so that I can constantly enrich the customer data. Here, I also can amend and set a maximum size for outbound messages. So just to explain, this is talking about segments. A segment is 160 characters. So although it may send out as one message, it may actually have gone over one message by being more than one segment. So I can control the amount of messages that are able to be sent to keep control of costings, essentially. Down here, I have end chat SMS. So in here, I can set the chat that I would like to be sent out as I close off a chat. It's really simple to do. You literally just click in and you can edit what goes in there, and I'll show you how that will appear when I start sending some messages. So that's all really, really simple to do. The other thing that I have as an administrator is the option to view chat history. So for example, if we had a customer query and I wanted to have a look back through that particular phone number, I can type the phone number in here and I would be able to search back through. I will show you how this works when we started doing some chatting so that you can actually see how you could export that. So just moving back over to the left-hand side again, we've talked about the reporting, and this is where you can view that. So it's very, very simple. Once again, I can see here that there's the option to set a time range, a date range. So I can put in the date that I want to check for. I can also select by a specific operator. So I may want to look at what one person had been doing in a day, for example. I can then scroll down and see a graph. So what I'll do, just to give you a little bit more to look at there, is if I just click on over the last 30 days, you can see here that when you've started to have lots of activity within text chat, you can actually view sort of a daily and hour by hour graph of the chats that were opened and closed. So it's really useful. If I come back over here again into chats, this is where I'm able to start looking at my operators and reassigning chats if necessary. So if I click on here, you can see I can view every single operator that I have within my team. and I can also see an unassigned queue. So if we had a busy call center and I had operators with multiple chats going on, there would be a number here, and if there were any assigned chats, they would also show, and I could then start to reassign them out to people as and when. So what I'm going to do now is come back into the view of a operator. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so okay, I'm on my operator view now, sorry about that. So as an operator, you can see that it's very, very basic. All I have here is a screen simply with any chat history any chats that I have open that day. So I'm just going to await for my colleague to send through a message so you can see how this would look. So I'm logged in as an operator. I don't have any chats in here at the moment, but when I start to receive chats, you will see I will have an open and a closed, and I can view all messages. So here we go, brilliant. So I now have a message in my waiting queue here. Now the thing about this particular message is that it's come from a customer who we already have in our system. So it's pulled through their name and phone number here. So if I come back over to the profile screen on the right hand side, I can see the information that we hold about this particular customer. So I've got some details in here, including an account number, an email address. So if I come back through into the middle, this is where we view the actual chats. I can see here that my message is in blue, it's waiting my response. And to show you how simple it is to respond to that, I simply type into the box here and type my response. So let's put something in here. Okay, please excuse my spelling. I've typed in. One thing I'd really like to sort of point out is that it now on the left hand side has changed the status to responding. And if you look into the box that I'm typing in here, you'll notice that it's telling me how many characters I've used, and it's showing me that I am within 1 SMS. So that's really important if you're trying to keep track on the amount of characters that you are using. So now I've typed in my message, I simply click send, and it will change to replied. Okay, I can now see that I've got another chat that's come through that is in a waiting status. So I know that I've replied to Laura here, and I now have another chat to deal with. So if I click onto this chat, importantly, what I can see here is that I don't have any information about this phone number, which means that this person does not exist within my Campaign Manager database yet. So this is kind of my opportunity to start building up a profile about this customer as well. So I can see here clearly that they've asked me for more information about how to apply for a loan. So I can put in here, please ask them to give me their personal details. And just pop some details in here. Okay, so obviously just click send there. Wait for that person. So once again, that has been replied to. What I would just very, very quickly like to do is to just take you back through to the administrator screen, just to show you how this now looks, that we have an operator working with messaging. If I click on here, I can see that this particular operator has 2 messages that have been replied to, that one here is awaiting a response. So this is how I can monitor what the operators are doing, and if needs be, I could reassign a message to another person. Okay, and I can see here as well that there is an L, because that's the first initial of this person, but that this U means that this is an unknown unknown customer. Okay, so I should just pop back through again to my operator view. So I now have this information here. I now know this customer has given me their first name and their surname and an email. So I can copy and paste that across into my profile. So it's very, very simple to do. I click on the edit button. I can add in the first name. I can save the details. Obviously, I can add in all of that information there. But what that has now done is that has pulled that information through into the Campaign Manager tool as well. So I now have more information about that customer so that I could then start to segment that data. And obviously next time that they message us, we have that information about them there. So I'm just going to come back through to our customer that we already hold lots of data about here, just to show you some of the other functionality that there is. If I wanted to, I could copy this chat to a clipboard. I could also export this chat and attach it to a customer account profile in my CRM system, or pass it across to somebody else within the business that needed the information about the chat, or whatever I wanted to do there. I can also discard a chat that I'm about to send if I've made a mistake in it or something like that. And what I would like to do now is just to show you that we have that we've set an end chat for this particular we've set an end chat template, which I'm going to simply end this chat off now to show you how that would work. So I click on here, I say okay, and the set chat will come through as it's now closed. Okay, so I'm just going to come back into this customer here and show you some of the other things I can do. So this particular customer wanted to ask about applying for a loan. We've set some templates which we talked about during the presentation. These are done inside Campaign Manager, but just for purposes of this demonstration, I want to show you how simple it is to add one. I simply click on here and you can see the templates that we set up. I'm going to simply add in the loan approved message here, and all you do is click on it, press OK, it appears within the body here, click send, and that once again has changed to responding, and it's gone through to David. And what you can also see is, because we now hold the information about David's first name, it has actually pulled that through into the message. So it's really, really simple to use. Obviously, those templates can be set with, frequently asked questions, or, for example, if you had run a particular campaign and there were specific responses that you felt you would need to set up to make things quicker for your staff, you can set those up that way as well. I think really that sort of in an overview, a short overview, is the functionality of text chat. I mean, obviously, if anyone has any questions, please do email them through. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks very much, Jennifer. I asked a couple of people who asked at the beginning if we could have some. Let me just see if I can get the final slide up. 1 second. I've had a question in. Let me just see. Please do keep coming them in. We've had a few. There's one here. Let me just bring up the summary screen so you can see. There we go. And if we hit that, so we've had a question in, and it says, if someone texts in whilst the office is closed, can an auto response be sent back, and what would happen to that chat message? A very, very good question. So we can set up rules within Campaign Manager. So as we talked about, the database that you have access to, Campaign Manager, is also an enterprise level campaign management tool for sending out SMS campaigns, but it also has a rules engine. And as part of that rules engine, you can set up timed responses. So you could say from 7 p.m. through till 7 a.m. if anybody texts in on your text chat number that's been assigned to you, respond with a a message that says, thanks very much for your message. For example, our office hours are now closed. Somebody will get back to you as soon as they can after 7 o'clock in the morning. And those messages will be queued and stored as waiting, and will be, as soon as your operatives come in and log in the morning, they will be assigned to the next available operative. So yeah, a really good functionality. So hopefully that answers your question. There's another question here I think Jennifer's got.
Yeah, so somebody asked how we can, how an administrator can view the chat history of a particular number. So what I'm going to do is actually just demonstrate that to you.
Yep, we've still got a couple of minutes. So if we go back to, do you need the administrator? There we go.
Thank you very much. So if I come through into the admin screen again. Okay, I'm just going to just pop in a number here. So this is the telephone number for the customer that I was speaking with earlier on. This is probably a best example to show you. Type in the number, press search, and here we go. So it's as simple as that. What you can see here is that I have the full chat history from the very first time that customer ever sent us a message. And it's within here that this would be stored for up to for 13 months. So there we go. It's as simple as that. And then obviously from there, I can export that if I wanted to.
So I've also had a question in from Craig. Does the text chat system link to other systems, in-house systems, etc.? If so, what happens if information is changed in the text chat system? So it's a standalone system to a point. Obviously, text chat comes with Campaign Manager as a tool, but is what we do have the ability to do via Auto FTP, scheduled Auto FTP, is actually import and export data from a third-party system, so such as your CRM system. So we can export on a scheduled basis. Now that could be hourly, it could be every 30 minutes, it could be once a night over the sort of 3 or 4 in the morning, and that can be both two ways. So you can import and export out of Campaign Manager, and text chat is linked intrinsically to Campaign Manager. So any changes to the Campaign Manager database will be displayed in within text chat. So if, for instance, you exported a report at 6 o'clock every morning from your CRM system with changes that occurred in the last 24 hours, then that would update Campaign Manager, and then therefore that would update text chat. So to answer your question quickly, yes, you can. You can either do it manually or you can do it on a scheduled basis using Auto FTP. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's have a quick look. I think we've got time for one more. We've only got a couple of minutes. So is there a time period which unclosed chats stay within the operator view? I'm going to give that to Jennifer to answer.
Yeah, there is, and this can be configured within the administrator view, so that you can set a time period for how long those chats stay within the operator's view.
Okay.
So it actually, you would actually set that up in your back-end system, but yes, it can be done.
So I think that's pretty much it from the questions. We've got about a minute left, so all I wanted to do was just finish on a summary, and also to let you know that we have recorded this, so we will share this with everybody that's attended. That's not a problem. We've got everyone's email addresses, so we will share that. Also a content of the presentation itself with additional notes. We'll share that as well. So in summary, hopefully we've covered all of the questions that you've asked. Hopefully we've also covered an overview of the marketplace and shift in the general industry, plus given you quite a comprehensive product overview. In summary, it's very, very easy and simple to set up and manage. You can manage multiple conversations at once. So as you saw Jennifer demonstrating, you can have as many operators or as many conversations as an operator can handle. Clients that we're working with typically manage up to 5 to 10 conversations at a time. Obviously depending on the complexity of the message. It gives you the opportunity to offer a great customer experience. It also gives you the ability to engage with typically hard to reach customers, and we've talked about some of those in the industries that we work with, while giving you an opportunity to boost sales with quick response to customer questions, and more importantly, build loyalty with the customers that you work with. So that's pretty much 2:30. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate the 30 minutes that you spent with us. We'll share the content of this webinar with you in due course. If you do have any further questions, please obviously let Jennifer or myself know at your own time, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you all very much. Have a wonderful Christmas and New Year, and we will hopefully speak to you all very soon. Thank you very much.